Hello everybody, I'm Heretic Plus. It is Sunday, July 20th, 2014, and it is daily number 7. In this daily, we're going to go back on the ladder with our Paladin Control deck, but I have a confession to make. It is no longer a Deathwing Control Paladin, it is just a Control Paladin. So I've played maybe 40 some odd games with the Deathwing Control Paladin, and to be honest, I've only gotten the kill with it maybe twice, which is fun, but the rest of the time it ends up a card in our hand that we can't ever do anything with, especially if we draw it early. So I've made some changes, I'll show them to you, and let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice is that the name of the deck has been changed to HP Control Paladin. This has multiple meanings. HP, because I'm Heretic Plus, so, you know, if other people use my deck, they'll know I created it. And also HP because we have quite a bit of life gain, which just further plays on the sustain of a late game Paladin deck. We have multiple Farseers. I added a second Farseer when I replaced my Deathwing. And the Fairy Dragon change for the Harvest Golem has been quite effective as well so far. And I've also switched out the Sinjin for an Abomination. From what I've experimented with so far, it seems like upping that mana cost by 1 to make him more effective at killing decks like the Zoo has been pretty effective. Also, mini Paladin, like Shakadin decks, he does pretty well against. So I'm liking it so far. We'll see how it goes. My mana curve is quite a bit better now that I've taken out Deathwing. And my odds against early game decks are a little bit better. So let's get into it and see what we can do. I did make rank 11 yesterday, but I lost a few and I'm back down in 12. I've already done some warm-up games, though. We are ready to push on. The goal is 10. Rank 10 by the end of daily number 7. I will say I feel most comfortable playing with the Paladin deck. I definitely don't like the aesthetic as much. Frankly, because I really like colorful cards. I love like Mage and Shaman because they've got like, you know, blue and green and stuff. It's so cool. Wherein Paladin's basically yellow with more yellow, and it's not vastly different. We're playing a Paladin. He could be a Shakadin or he could be a late game. He's probably going to be a Shakadin though, because that's more popular right now, in which case we'll keep the sword and the Pyromancer in case we can pull out some board wiping plays. The Peacekeeper is also a great play here because Blessing of Might is a largely played card in Shakadin decks.
The light protects me.
And it is a Shakadin or similar variant. Alright, do we coin play? I'm gonna say no. It would be more beneficial just to wait for that Peacekeeper on turn 2. We could summon the 1/1, but he would just trade, which wouldn't get us much far ahead at all. That Pyromancer will come in handy. In fact, I'm debating. I'm kind of debating letting him hit me. No, that's probably too much damage. Because next turn I can Pyromancer coin, but that will only work if he loses the shield on his 1/1. So we're going to take out the Peacekeeper, lower down his attack. Hopefully we'll see a double trade here, or he'll just hit me, in which case our effect will still work just fine. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
At this point in the game, the cards do help him more than me, but that gives me more chance to draw the more value board wiping cards in my deck, which is what I'm looking for. Alright, we've drawn what we need. So I've just realized that I coined. I lost my coin. I was supposed to coin Pyromancer. Oh well. We're still okay. We'll get a little bit of health gain. We have Avenging Wrath, and so we can sword next turn. Double board wipe if he doesn't wipe us. I think we're still in good shape.
Well played.
What I really want to see him do is King Mukla into a Divine Favor. Because obviously Mukla is a 3-mana 5/5 who gives your opponent 2 bananas. So you can play Mukla, let him draw the cards, and then you benefit from him drawing the cards, which just seems particularly awesome. Oh, and there it is. And he does have quite a few cards in his hand, so he can definitely come back from this. But we take a sizable comeback.
Mind if I roll neat?
Okay, loot order. The real weakness of the kind of early game Shakadin style deck is that they just don't have any health at all. They're pretty easy to wipe. We don't really have the taunters to handle it too well. But our deck does have decent removal, so I'm not uber concerned. A Consecration would mess this up. I think a Shakadin uses one Consecration. This board's a lot smaller. Next turn we can Avenging Wrath, which will put us in even further shape. I don't think his deck runs a Blessing of Kings. Occasionally, early game Paladins will run one Blessing of Kings, just to get through bigger targets. We're about to see a money Avenging Wrath, though, as he continues just to try and hit us to our face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 damage. Ooh! That's a lot of hits. A lot of hits. But we're still doing okay. At least for now. Okay, I'm gonna draw 1 health here. And then future turns, we've really gotta survive. He's gonna run a Leroy. I might have hit him in the face to avoid that, but at this point he's got a good start. We could lose. Guardian of Kings would be fantastic to draw here, and we lose. Well played. I didn't know they run Avenging Wrath. But yeah, we lost that game. Not too bad. We definitely hurt him as well, and we were on the verge of coming back. Healing our health by that 1 more wouldn't have helped us because Avenging Wrath would have still killed us. The coin play might have saved us, so that's an error on my part. But all we can do is move forward and learn from our mistakes. And all that this teaches us is to be sure that we are multi-analyzing every move we make to make sure we don't do that. Because obviously I relied on a coin for both plays, and I can't have the coin for both plays. Just an oversight on my part. But overall, I think this deck did pretty well against it. The Farseer early on helped us out, and the life gain in general to kind of get us over that hump of early game play. Alright, I'm going to keep these again, just because Control Paladins are much less common. Okay, that's pretty good. We don't have the coin, but so he can have a pretty strong start against us, so that Consecration will be uber important to have. Abomination, a useful card in this matchup. I really want an all-golden deck. So bad. He didn't play a 1 mana, so he's probably doing Control, because Shakadins have so many 1 mana cards. Or he was saving for turn 3. He wasn't. Still got that coin, though. Need to keep that in mind. We'll just keep knocking away at him. Soul Strife. I like that name. I really like how Blizzard does their system where you have a little number, and feel free to friend me, by the way, if you want to. They have a number by your name so that you can have whatever name you want. And there's no need to put numbers into it or anything else, which I love. 1, because number names are lame. 2, because I want to be able to have whatever name I want. Okay. He's playing uber conservative.
Not on my watch.
It's possible he just had an absolutely garbage hand. But unlikely. It's probably too early to play Abomination. We could Peacekeeper and summon a dude to give us board control. Or we could True Silver Champion, wipe here, hit him. This is probably the better play, just to pull out that board advantage.
Reporting for duty.
And I will hit here. just because, oh, Hammer of Wrath. That's fine. We'll probably hit here. We still got our Pyromancer, so we're fine with that. Totally not worth any combo plays. Honestly, not really worth the Consecration either. I'll probably just Sword take care of it. He coined minion plays. That seems odd. That seems very odd. I will do a little bit of removal here. Always heal the highest potential, or kill the highest potential unit if you can. So that 1/2 could foreseeably have been healed, or even silenced for the extra damage. It probably wouldn't happen in this case, but just in case it does, always kill the highest potential unit he has, if you have the choice. Nice. I will note that I'm a level 41 Paladin. With one more level, I can grab that second golden true silver champion. And let's face it, golden cards just perform better than normal cards. They just do. I don't make the rules. Alright, I'm thinking we're gonna Bane, do a little bit of board wipe. So we can double trade up to kill our Bane, but we'll still obviously have Karn. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Next turn we could Rag, however he hasn't played any equalities yet. Which I assume he could have, but because he's running Divine, the Power Word Shield dude who puts the shield on, Divine Shield, I'm kind of worried of what kind of deck he's even playing with. Okay. So how do we want to handle this? We could just lower his attack and kind of keep building board presence and hitting him. We probably though should deal with this as best as we can. I'm gonna leave his 1/5 out just to kind of stall his ability to really hurt us. We could Fairy Dragon here for the damage. I'm gonna go ahead and do both, simply because we have so many cards in our hand. A Consecration would be kind of hurtful here, but it wouldn't screw us by any means, since we have both Abomination and a Rag in our hands. It's an equality. Alright, Equality Consecrate. He still, though, has a 1/1 out, so we're not incredibly worried.
Reporting for duty.
But he will be able to come back as a 1/1, and that is, of course, something to be careful about. We can't Abomination and Avenging Wrath. We could Consecrate and then drop an Abomination. But that seems pretty hefty to do. Do we play Abomination now? I'm honestly thinking we should probably just let him have what he's got. We could 6 and then drop a 3-mana guy to heal our Pyromancer or ourselves. That seems like a big play to get this and only deal 1 damage to his dude.
Let's move quickly.
Alright. There's the play. Hope it's not awful. Abomination can now handle Bane. Drawing our second True Silver Champion can handle Bane. Drawing a Hammer of Wrath and playing a Pyromancer can handle Bane. Okay.
Reporting for duty.
This might be a time for Abomination. Or we could Avenging Wrath. No, I think Abomination's the play.
Reporting for duty.
Try and make him take it down. His best play would be to trade with his Farseer and his 1/1 on my Abomination, taking 2 damage, but also hurting his 4/2. So Avenging Wrath can easily take care of it. Alright, he's gonna go in for try and deal some damage to us, try and burn us down to low levels. We're out. We have 1 Farseer left. We have a Guardian of Kings.
Reporting for duty.
I will probably Avenging Wrath though and just try and come back on the next turn. There's our Guardian of Kings, heal us by 6 health, but would not be able to clear his board. So honestly, we'd still probably take a lot of damage and be in kill range. We need to wipe his board. And let's pray that we can Guardian of Kings next turn. And best case scenario, we could Farseer as well. But we have a 6% chance of drawing Farseer, so the odds aren't high. I debated playing a Holy Light instead of Farseer, just for more healing. But I figured Farseer was more versatile and would also help me more against early game aggression. Alright, we're gonna take 8.
Reporting for duty.
Ooh, equality is much needed. Okay, he's going for the 50-50% chance kill. And he gets it. Well played. Alright, we lose game 2 on the ladder. We're 0-2 now. But I don't think the deck is uber at fault. We weren't really sure what his deck was doing. We didn't have enough board clear is the biggest problem. One of the faults that the Paladin control decks have now is that Tinkmaster is just not as good as it used to be, since you cannot choose the card that gets changed. You can no longer really use him as a light silencer, polymorph essentially.
Justice demands retribution.
Another Paladin. We're seeing a lot of Paladins. I'm kind of liking this though, to be honest. I like the Hammer of Wrath. Plus it's holographic. What would we rather have? True Silver Champion would be better. This deck doesn't use any 4-play minion drops. That's interesting. This is pretty good. The only card I would think to throw back would... No, I'll throw back the Equality, because I'm playing a Paladin, so... Alright, that's not terrible. We do have the coin as well. Question, do we coin out a Fairy Dragon? Or do we wait? I'll coin him out just for the early damage. It will of course suck if he just plays out a minion with 2 attack or more. But we can always turn to hero power and trade. Okay. That's a Shakadin. So do we trade or do we hit him? I think we trade. Next turn we can Peacekeeper. I could have hit him to the face and Peacekeepered next turn to his dude and killed it. But the odds of him trading himself are pretty high.
Reporting for duty.
And we handily take board control. Which, since he's playing a Knife Juggler, we know he's going for an early game win. Every turn we can just stall him to the late game. Ups our chances and lowers his. Which is exactly the strategy we want to use against a deck like this. Alright, next turn we can Azure Drake. Or even Peacekeeper if he plays anything deadly at 5 mana, which he probably won't because he's a Paladin. There's a Kodo. I'm seeing a lot of Kodos on the ladder now. I think Drake is still the best play. So I'm not really afraid of his Kodo, and if he plays on me, I can always nuke it next turn with a Hammer of Wrath, or even a Consecration, if he plays too many dudes. This is a fun little removal strategy, alongside, say... Well, really, I don't think it's an uber worth it removal strategy if you're playing with Peacekeepers only, but with a Humility or two, it ups in value exponentially. Okay, we're gonna see a trade there. Probably will Peacekeeper his Kodo, and there's a Consecration, not incredibly useful. I will just kind of build a board. His board isn't quite scary enough to really force us into any high removal, so... And we have a Guardian in our hands. What I do hate about Paladin decks, though, is that I never really have an option to play Big Game Hunter. I guess he's probably the most situational card in my deck at this point.
Let me think.
And he might be traded. The issue is, once I've run out of qualities, I mean, I don't have a lot of answers to big, nasty threats, short of killing them myself. So if I removed him, I'd probably have to put in a buffing card, which isn't very control-y anymore. Paladins just don't have as good removal as, say, Druid or Mage. Or Shaman. Shaman's really good, too. Ooh, a Golden Drake, that's fun.
Reporting for duty.
Probably gonna trade here. Yep. Okay, so now we do really need to go for a board clearing play. He's got plenty of value out to make it worth it. And there's a quality. Do we want to equality take care of it though? We could Hammer of Wrath for 3. That wouldn't kill it. We don't have a Pyromancer. We could ignore it and heal ourselves, but that seems like a bad play. We could equality consecrate.
Let me think.
Or we could lower his attack to 1, consecrate. That wouldn't kill like anything though, so I am gonna think we should just clear the board. He does have a lot of cards though, so his options are pretty good, I assume. I will say Lay on Hands is also a pretty situational card in this deck. And I would not think, I wouldn't really think twice about trading Lay on Hands out for a Holy Light, just because it seems like it's very difficult to play. And I usually want the card draw more than I want. I mean, I normally want the health more than I want the card draw, because at that point I'm usually probably already losing, in which case once I play Lay on Hands, I can't really come back, because I can't play any of the cards that I draw.
Reporting for duty.
And Big Game Hunter proves his worth. It would definitely be overkill to play 2 Big Game Hunters, but just 1, nah. I think it's worth it. He usually gets a kill per game with about, I'd say, a 70% chance that he gets a kill every game, which is pretty good for a card. Alright. Probably will play on that and not worry about wiping, because Tesdingo is not a very big threat. Heal, or I could do a slightly less intensive play. I could Bane, make his attack 1. But doing that wouldn't put him in kill range for Bane, so this seems like a better play.
Follow the rules.
Okay, we see one of his own peacekeepers. Alright. Equality? Nope. Okay, we have to face this manipulator. Or we could rely more on a board wiping play. Hit here, consecrate. Hit here. Hammer here, hit here, consecrate.
I wonder.
Or we could play Karen, just build a board. I think we probably should. Well, there's the equality we want. We could wipe, but I don't see that as being particularly important. We can't hit him. That did not occur to me, that we would not be able to hit him. But we can with you. And even better play, just by taking my time, I came up with an even better play. Okay, we are through his defenses. We have board advantage, +1 spell power, and a hand full of baddies. Particularly a good baddie to play when we don't know what he's got. He wonders.
Truth is my shield.
Sunwalker. We might face Manipulator that. We could down its shield in equality, but like I said, it seems pretty early to want to equality anything. He hasn't really played any cards that are truly deadly enough to make that worth it. We could just Avenging Wrath, see what happens. We can't both Avenging Wrath while we Manipulator though, which makes it a less awesome play. We could Peacekeeper it, get its attack down to 1, and then we'll play on it first, then do that. Tap him, draw a card. Either way, I think that is a good play. And then do we Avenging Wrath? We have to now that I've already done it. It might have been a better play to go ahead and Manipulator him, but I acted too hastily. I'm not gonna hit him just because I want to make him make the choice to consecrate or not. That probably would have been a good play to go ahead and face this Manipulator, but I want him to run out his qualities if I can. He's certainly not in trouble, but he's not in the best position right now. I'm tempted just to lay on hands next turn if he doesn't play anything uber worrisome. But yeah, lay on hands is just a very difficult card to figure out where to play. Still have equality. There's the Consecrate. We do get the card draw from it. Hammer of Wrath. Can we draw a Pyromancer? Nope. But we can Azure Drake. Hammer of Wrath.
Job's done.
We're back in it just fine. Yeah, I do think Lay on Hands is the card to take a change. What I really want for this deck is I really want a Hogger. But Ysera would also be a good card to switch for it. Just because Ysera is so strong. I might think of just doing that.
Put your faith in the light.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take one of those. We have our own already, but being able to play 2 in a single game seems particularly OP.
My eyes are open. Reporting for duty.
Could have equality'd there before I played a board. But I think the 1/1's better because if he doesn't decide to hit me, I can pop a shield essentially for free. And I have the Equality Pyromancer combo, so worst case scenario, I can whiteboard and Tyrion next turn. Or even whiteboard and Karen Bloodhoof. What do you guys think about lay on hands in the deck? Equality here wouldn't really be a good play. I hope he knows that. Okay.
Quickly.
Pops the shield. We're gonna have to probably play our own Tyrion. We're out of consecrations, I believe. Yes, we are. Okay, so this is where we come back or we lose. I'm gonna go ahead and board wipe now. Just because we also have an Ashbringer, so I'm not uber concerned about the fact that he has one. Next turn we can lay on hands and essentially just stop worrying about his Ashbringer. We're out of equalities. We do have a Pyromancer, and the only spell we have left is Avenging Wrath and Lay on Hands, I suppose. Okay, we definitely have him on the ropes, and we have quite a few of our big guys left. Both Karen and Rag are still alive in the last 7 cards of our deck. And I'm just gonna, Tyrion. The way the board looks now, we can probably kill him without him even being able to get through our Tyrion.
Well played.
So we've seen 4 Tyrions so far this game.
The victory is yours.
And we pull out the win. Alright. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in Lay on Hands. We could switch for a Divine Blessing, but to be entirely honest, with this deck, there should be very few opportunities where Divine Blessing would be worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and take Lay on Hands out, because if we never get to play the card's not worth it. The only times we do get to play the card is on a board where we probably would do okay anyway. Because it's an 8 mana card, it's just too expensive of a card. If it was 6 mana, it would be perfect, because then you could use it and then Consecrate or Hammer of Wrath. I would even be okay with them removing some of the health gain, make it heal 5 health instead of 8. That would be fine. Cold Light Oracle is a good drawing card. I don't think we want to give them cards though, particularly not if we're playing against an aggro deck. The thing to consider is, do we want to trade that for more removal, board presence, the healing side of the card, or the card drawing side of the card? We've already seen that Stampeding Kodo is a pretty popular card to be played right now. I don't know if I'm convinced still, though. Black Knight would be fantastic. Yazera would be pretty fantastic. Do we want Yazera or Black Knight? Black Knight would fit better with our mana curve, but Yazera is more of a late game finisher if we don't have any good options. Black Knight's good for aggro and removal. He'd help us a lot against decks like, he'd help us against Shamans, he'd help us against Druids. I think that's mainly it. So not a vast amount of matchups. I'm going to add in Yazera, see how that works. And that's the end of part 1, and part 2 will continue. We're currently 1-2, so not a very good run so far, and I'd like to finish positive. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in part